Harambee! Neno hili si hivyo. Mambo ni matatu.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome back to our channel once again. I have a question to ask. Is Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta behind the chaos which are being witnessed in ODM party today?
Na mimi nataka niambie ndugu yetu Uhuru Kenyatta, tafadhali, sisi ni marafiki tu, lakini ikifika kuharibu chama cha ODM, kutuma mamluki kusambaratisha chama cha ODM, hiyo tunasema tumekataa. Hiyo tunasema hapana. Tafadhali usitume mamluki kuharibu chama cha ODM. Hapo tutakosana mbaya sana, and we will deal with the matter perpendicularly. Na hakuna mtu tutaogopa hata siku moja.
I'm asking that question because Uhuru Kenyatta's name is now featuring prominently within ODM political circles.
Juzi mimi kuna wengine wanapiga wengine tu hao ni broker hizi. Juzi mmoja yao ameniita, wale wanapiga kelele huko Kisumu. Juzi nataka kusema hii maneno nikiwa hapa nyumbani Nyerungi. Juzi amenialika huko Kisumu, ilikuwa siku ya Monday I think jioni. Ananiambia, ndugu yangu, kuna mpango mzuri nataka nikujulishe ya chama chetu. Ananiambia hakuna haja ya kusupport President Ruto, wachana naye. Tutoke kwa hii mambo ya broad based. Mimi kwa kazi yangu libaki tu. Tufanye namna gani? Anasema tuko na mpango mzuri. Ananiambia ati former president Uhuru Kenyatta anataka kusaidia sisi kwa chama chetu cha ODM. Mimi nimebaki tu kusema ati he is ready to invest over $1 billion shillings in our party. Ati ili atusaidie chama yetu ikuwe imara. Then tutashinda uchaguzi ujao tukienda kwa United Opposition. Anasema wengine wenu kama wewe, mimi najua ile kitu utaki ni huyu naitwa nani wa Munyoro, huyu Rigathi. Hakuna haja wewe fanya hivi, wachana na Rigathi, tupite njia ya Uhuru tuingie kwa United Opposition. Nimeambia wewe ulikuwa unasema sisi tunataka kuuzia chama Ruto, wewe pia unataka kuuzia Uhuru Kenyatta. Sasa ni brokers mbili ndio wako na mkutano hapa.
Earlier today, the man who was with Raila Amolo Odinga up to the last moment, the man who was with Raila Odinga to Dubai, he was also with Raila Odinga to India. He spent most of his time with Raila Odinga during his last days on earth. Okech Sala made some shocking revelations. According to Okech Sala, he had Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta making a phone call to Raila Amolo Odinga. And after that phone call, Raila Odinga told him that Edwin Sifuna was Uhuru Kenyatta's mole in ODM party. I want you guys to pay very close attention to Okech Sala. I know most of you guys are dismissing Okech Sala, but for me, I won't dismiss Okech Sala and look at it from political perspective, because I know for sure that in politics, nothing happens out of mere coincidence. Everything in politics is normally well planned, well scripted, and executed to achieve certain political objectives. There is a political objective which Okech Sala wants to achieve. Listening to Okech Sala.
That most of these people know me because they were seeing me with Baba, and they don't seem to understand how deep our relationships were. But Daktari Oburu Oginga knows how deep it was. I'm telling you for a fact, with receipts and evidence, that Baba told me there was a time former President Uhuru Kenyatta called him, and Uhuru Kenyatta started to speak to him about Sifuna. And Baba put it on loudspeaker. And I heard Uhuru telling Baba that sasa si unaona vile Sifuna anafanya, si unaona anafanya kitu ile vitu mzuri, si unaona unafaa kuangalia hii kazi anafanya iko mzuri, unaona vile aliongea kwa TV. And you know that this statement I'm talking about here, it is something that President Uhuru said it to Baba, and he knows that if I say it here, it is something that Baba must have, I was either president or Baba must have told me, because it's a fact. Now after the phone ended, Baba Baba immediately said, Sala, Sifuna ni nguog ngani. To gidwan deko diem, gidwa ketho diem. To ko biyeni. And one of those is one of the incidents. Then I realized that Baba knew who Sifuna was. And I have many things here on my WhatsApp and evidence to show. I don't just talk on things like I'm a crazy person. I'm talking on facts. The other time when we came back from abroad, immediately we arrived in the evening and then we went at a Team Sidai, Rafael Tuju's hotel. He called because he was very angry with the statements of Sifuna that he made on Citizen TV with Yvonne Okwaro. So Baba was very angry and he said he's going to deal with this man today once and for all. In that event, he went and he brought a National Executive Committee, ODM Kanyo, the Central Committee. He brought them there together and he wanted either Sifuna that day to either to be part of ODM or not part of ODM. And then Sifuna was made to read the statement that he was against on the TV with the Kwaro. Baba made him read it there. In the evening we met with Baba. I'm telling you the truth. And I'm telling you one of the things we were discussing with Baba when I was with him in India in the hospital. It was ODM. There were some other colleagues who were there, some other people who were next to me, and they know because they were part of that discussion. And Baba told me, Saladoni Mako ODM, Obenmutegno. So then somebody who was there who knows the person, I don't want to say he or her, the person that was there knows what Baba said about me and ODM. Somebody raised something and about that ODM, and then Baba said, no, Baba another team.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this video, I want us to talk about, very briefly, about that statement by Okech Sala. Before we do that, for those who are watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click the subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support. Because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you this question. Assuming Raila Odinga was alive and we are in 2027, do you think Raila Odinga would have contested for the presidency? Or do you think Raila Odinga would have supported William Ruto's re-election bid? Or do you think Raila Odinga would have teamed up with Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta to front a different candidate? Ladies and gentlemen, those are some of the questions which I keep on asking myself. As things stand today, Raila Odinga is not there. He left ODM party in broad-based government. But he was also very clear that they were going to be in broad-based government until 2027. Which means in the 2027 election, ODM party, according to Raila Odinga's own account, was going to sit and agree on the way forward. Personally, I also know that Raila Odinga was under a lot of pressure from some of his allies, including Uhuru Kenyatta, to contest for the presidency in 2027 because they believed that William Ruto had exhausted all his options and his ratings had actually gone down. But the question is, why is Uhuru Kenyatta's name being dragged? Number one, you see, if you look at Edwin Sifuna, he's not the face of those who are opposed to broad-based government. There is also James Orengo, but Sifuna is emerging because of the fact that he is the Secretary General of ODM Party. But Edwin Sifuna is not being linked to Fred Matiang'i. Fred Matiang'i is running for the presidency of the Republic of Kenya in 2027. That's the fact. And because Matiang'i is running for the presidency and is being linked to Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, most people are easily concluding that it is Uhuru Kenyatta who is pushing Sifuna to oppose the broad-based government. I don't know whether that is true. But because of his link to Fred Matiang'i, because remember, the other day, Sifuna was in Kisii. I think it was during the campaigns, the by-elections in Kasipul. He didn't go to Kasipul, but he picked, or he chose to be in Kisii. And during that during that event, he made it very clear that for him, he's willing to support Matiang'i. Number two, Sifuna is part of Kenya Moja. But one question has always lingered. Who is behind the Kenya Moja movement? In Kenya Moja, we have Sifuna, we have Babu. They're also mentioning Ndindi Nyoro, though he has never attended any of their meetings. There is Wamuchomba, there is Caleb Amisi. Who else? Kibagendi. But you can clearly tell that Kibagendi ni mtu wa Matiang'i. You can clearly tell that Wamuchomba ni mtu wa Uhuru. And she's also mtu wa Matiang'i. And because of the link to Kenya Moja, and the fact that Kenya Moja is leaning more towards Fred Matiang'i, Uhuru Kenyatta is being dragged into this whole issue. The third reason, and this is known mostly to those who are deeply in Raila Odinga circles, Uhuru Kenyatta wanted Raila Odinga to run. In fact, I think this one most of you might be aware of. After the Gen Z protest, William Ruto became very low. His ratings went down. He was exposed. He reached out to Raila Amolo Odinga. Then they agreed that he was going to give Raila Odinga some slots to the cabinet. Initially, Raila Odinga actually refused to submit the names of his members to the cabinet. Why? Because he also wanted Uhuru Kenyatta to suggest some names. You get it? That's why, or that's how, we ended up with some other names later who are associated with Uhuru Kenyatta. The Lee Kinyanjui, the Kabogos, who was the Mutahi Kagwe, those people. Initially, they were supposed to be named. Raila did not send the names because Uhuru still believed that Raila Odinga was the only person who could defeat William Ruto in 2027. And because those who are deeply in politics know that Raila Odinga really respected Uhuru Kenyatta. In fact, I still believe that despite the fact that, if you look at it critically, Ruto treated Raila Odinga better than Uhuru treated Raila in a handshake, Raila still had a bit of, or more of a soft spot towards Uhuru. So there's the feeling that because Uhuru wanted Raila to run, and Raila was not willing to run based on age, he was then proposing that they either support Matiang'i or ODM was supposed to front a candidate. The truth is, Raila at some point had agreed that Sifuna was either going to be a running mate to Kalonzo or to Matiang'i because of the pressure from Uhuru Kenyatta. And lastly, Uhuru Kenyatta is viewed as someone who is on a mission to revenge. He's planning to revenge against President Ruto because Ruto defeated him. And because he was planning to revenge, he wanted to use Raila Odinga. Look at it. Assuming Raila was alive and we were in the situation where William Ruto was, and then you remove Raila Odinga, William Ruto was going to be exposed. And because of that, he's being linked. I don't know what you think. I don't know. Politically, let me know whether you think it is propaganda or Uhuru planted Sifuna in ODM party. I don't know what to think. Until next time, this is Lee Makweny, by the way.